right, a very good morning to you waking up to us. This is the Kokoliriko live show on Western Television. My name is FARISH MAJID and it's the Thursday edition, and today is the 14th. That means we are already the fortnight into the month of March. You're most welcome from wherever you are watching us from. I must say it's a great pleasure having you on board this early morning here as we begin off our day with. And I must say also to those who are yet in bed, you have to wake up and really also go start looking for your daily hustles, such that at the end of the day you also really find something more in your pockets. And for Karim, and then for the Christians as well, we say happy Lent period. I do understand this is a holy month where we do not expect to witness tendencies of maybe criminal activities within this period here, because this is a holy month, and really for both the Christians and the Muslims, and that means that for the faithfuls, really we do not expect to see you in bad activities which could actually ruin the reputation of your religion. That is why we are saying happy Ramadan and happy Lent period. That is to the Christian brothers and sisters out there also. And really we are back with the Kokoliriko edition. That is the third edition, that is for this week. And remember, later on the show, we are expecting to have, that is State Minister for Lands and Urban Development, who also doubles as Terego East, and that is none other than State Minister OBIGA Mario Kania, who will be able to also really tell us more about the exercise that is ongoing for the registration and update of the National Resistance Movement Party supporters, where we did witness the turnout being very low in Arua City, and he will be able to also tell us how the exercise did go on, that is in Terego District, because he is the chairperson, that is NRM for Terego District, and surely we are waiting to have him on the show as he also comes and shares with us of how the experience is deep down in Terego District. And really, we were initially supposed to have him yesterday, but due to unavoidable circumstances, we had to postpone the show today, and that is why we shall be able to have him today. And really, we hope you will be able to wait and really have fun with us as we take you through till the hour of 9 a.m. And now after 9 a.m., that is when the news bulletin in Lubarati with Fete Emmanuel will be able to come through. And then at midday, we shall also be having the news bulletin that is in Alur. Lembangea will also be coming through. And then at 7 p.m., Nilecast will be able to come through. And now to begin off the discussions, that is in Kabong, where recently the mobilizer of that area was gunned down police, who said he was just a victim of mistaken identity, because police was trying to do some work that is in protecting people from cattle rustlers, which was really threatening security there. And this man, who is said to have been watching a game that is for Arsenal, since he is an Arsenal fan, was gunned down. And National Unity Platform Party has now come out actually to demand an explanation from government on this gentleman's killing, and that only 30 Ambrose Luchoto was a household name that is in Kabong Town Council, as he dared to mobilize locals to support the National Unity Platform Party until his tragic death last Saturday, in which security personnel says it was an ambush gone bad. Really, Luchoto was quickly penetrating local politics, and this is something that which National Unity Platform Party is actually saying that he could have been murdered. That is because of his political affiliation, not really what police is saying, and National Unity Platform has come out to deny that. And really, if that at all, that is the truth. And then what is really opposition doing? And that means that really maybe government is scared of the opposition, which to me may not be the case necessarily, but really using the guns unfairly really sometimes is something that I must also condemn. Because you realize at times these guns not spare, but in most cases when they also target maybe people whom we think could be of political influence, then that becomes really unfair, and then it becomes unfortunate, because that at the end of the day also paints that image in the minds of the locals that they cannot really fully exercise their rights, because really to affiliate yourselves to any political party is a constitutional mandate. You are not really forced to join in the political party, and really where you feel you are not content with where you belong, you can move. And that is why the freedom for movement is always there. And you realize that maybe some people cross from Forum for Democratic Change, National Resistance Movement, as we have seen, where we have seen Western Sub-region, now some candidates are crossing from their various opposition groups. I've seen one who crossed from FDC to NRM, and I've also seen one really crossing from that is NUP to NRM. And really, what does that mean? That means that the freedom to associate yourself, or really also to really exist where you want to belong is your constitutional mandate. Nobody to stop you. That is why the people who are affiliated to the National Movement, it is time for them to actually embrace the exercise that is ongoing at this moment, so that they cannot be members of that party. Around 11 p.m. when he incidentally fell in operatives who reportedly were foiling a cattle raid that is at the community kraal within Kabong Town Council, according to what the people there have said. And the police report issued by Mike Longoli, the acting police spokesperson, really also indicates a lot when it comes to that issue there. And now National Unity Platform still feels that this is not substantive enough. And according to information that the unknown armed Karamojong warriors had raided livestock that is from Kakama protected area, which was really also something that really they were trying to trail and also avert. And how did the issue of the gun shooting come about? And then really that is something that maybe we expect the police to really also come out and clearly explain. And this raid informed the placement of an ambush in the area, really used by cattle was really said. And now what is police saying? Police has actually come out clearly to clarify that the gentleman was just a victim of an ambush. And Mr. Longoli said really the security personnel staged the ambush. Luchoto became a victim in Kapilan Bar East Kabong Town Council, and really they did not have that intention. This is what police is actually saying. One of the cases of the deceased, that is Mariko Lochap, really last evening say that his cousin feared for his life ever since he became a nuke mobilizer. And really, what does that mean? Maybe, is that not going to scare away people who would want to set themselves with nuke? Which to me is definitely the answer, yes. And really, you realize that maybe such killings at the end of the day may also really scare so many people who would want to be part of the opposition groups. And that means that it will not be prudent for them to also really now start out clearly to explain or state where they belong. And that is one reason we may also see people pulling away from these political parties, which would really also not be quite good, because if at all people do not have these political affiliations, then we may not see them freely exercising their democratic rights, because to really vote is a democratic right, really, where we want to see everybody vote. Because if people do not vote, then definitely we may also not see maybe these answers being achieved. And Mr. Lochap added that the deceased worked as a carpenter to earn a living for his family, and was also an upcoming musician. And that is something also really we did see. And now what is National Unity Platform saying about this? NUP General Secretary Davis Lubongoya, who represented the NUP party president, really on Monday also really said, during the battle, said the deceased was killed in cold blood, and really where they also expect answers now. And according to police postmortem, the disputed claims, he disputed the claims by police postmortem, really, which was done, and this is what the gentleman actually said. He came out to really also disregard what the police postmortem report was actually saying, which to me is really also not really quite good there, because if at all people are killed for their political affiliations, and then definitely that could also really be very bad there. And still within opposition, FDC Katonga party recently agreed to form a new party, and now political analysts are now condemning this. Really, they are saying this is not good. And the Forum for Democratic Change, that's Katonga faction leaders from Kampala metropolitan area, recently unanimously agreed to form a new political party. And this could actually really also disintegrate the Forum for Democratic Change party more, because we realize that the Katanga and Najana Nkumi blocks cannot really now sit in one saucepan, and they cannot cook together, as we have usually said. But what does that mean? I must say this definitely is going to cost the party a lot when it comes to the 2026 general elections. And you realize that really these breakaways sometimes come with a lot of challenges. They come with a lot of really negative repercussions. You realize in the last general elections where we did see ANT moving away from, that is FDC, and really realize you saw what happened. Really, that is one thing I must say, because these leaders usually have their own following, and realize that they are the party, and that is how they have been able to really also attract some of the people to these parties here, and that is one reason also they have been clearly affiliated to these parties. And once such a leader who is very much instrumental moves away, and you will also realize that some of the voters tend to follow them, which really to me also disintegrates the party more. And the groups believes that new party is the way to and now the National group, for them who believe that the formation of a new political party is good, that is after really they fall out with the National bloc that is led by Patrick Amuriat and Nathan Nandala Mafabi, was the General Secretary. And this is also something where we are seeing the other group now of the Semu Jungandas, Best J's, going to form up their political parties, and all these are instrumental leaders and who have been very much steering the affairs of the Blue Party. What does this really mean for this party ahead of 2026? As we are seeing already other parties restructuring, and these other parties are still really also ensuring that they form any political party. What does this mean? I don't know. How many voters is it going to attract? That is something I also definitely don't know. But I must say this may, at the end of the day, also cost the political parties that we are seeing on the other portion. And if you move to NUP, you realize that there are also conflicts, that is between the former leader of opposition in parliament and the party president. And all this, at the end of the day, is going to divide the voters more. And we may not be able to also see the results that the NUP party got in 2021. I really also if you were to compare it with maybe 2026, because all this will make the voters lose trust, and the voters already losing trust in when such issues arise, because this is a time where we're expecting now these political parties to be more organized, where we expect them now to be doing a lot when it comes to issues of actually restructuring and organizing themselves ahead of the 2026 general elections, which to me is not very far. And really, you may think that the days are very far, but I will say no, these days are very, very near here, and that is one reason also really we want to say that we have to really ensure now that really we talk about these issues, because at the end of the day, this is something that could at the end also drag us down, because if they continue to drag us down, then definitely that could not be able to really also see the change we want to see, because all these parties are promised, that is to have a change in government. You realize that from democratic change, its number one goal is actually to replace the interim government, and NUP as well also is saying that they want to replace the government, and these are the two instrumental parties that we have known, and we are maybe expecting to be maybe also really pressurizing the ruling government of NRM ahead of 2026 general elections. But if at all with these divisions, I don't think if that dream to have these parties in power may really be attained, because all this could be having a negative repercussion that is on the voters who are affiliated to this party. And really with that, we want some other discussion and put it on hold. Let's move on now to Nakaseke, really where the teachers have been forced to sit for the primary living examinations competence-based assessment. And really, what do you think about that? Really, over recently, you realize that in the PLE results, some of the schools did not perform very well, and now relevant authorities there have forced some of the teachers in that area to sit for these exams, and these are competence-based assessments, and really some of the teachers were actually forced now to sit for these exams. And you realize that will this be the way to go, because some of these teachers, they also need to assess their competence assessment levels, and that is one reason actually recently we did have a meeting that is at Muni University, National Teachers College, where the teachers were actually given ICT skills such that they remain relevant when the changes in education are to be made. And this is one reason also really I think it is quite important for these teachers now to also sit for these competence assessments, such that they are not left behind. We may think that our children in class learning, yet our children are learning nothing. Isn't that the way to go really? If some of the districts that do not perform very well also really are forced into these exams, I really believe it will be quite good, because if you realize that one of the districts that really had the worst performances in this region was actually from West Nile sub-region, and that is Mario district, where really I must say things not go very well. And now we are expecting nothing, but really we expect now good results, we expect preparations, and the relevant authorities are starting from the leaders and the teachers have to do a lot, the head teachers also as well, the inspectors. We are expecting a lot from you in the next years, really PLE results, because these results not really make us proud. And I must say, we as citizens of this West Nile sub-region, we are not happy to see one of our districts appear as one of the least performing districts, and really that was something I must say did not please us. The examination was administered by Nakaseke District Chairperson, Mr. Ignatius Chiwanuka Komu, after the council expressed concern about the failure rate in some of the schools in the area, and that is also something we did see going on there. And the total of 40 teachers actually were forced to sit for these exams, and really the competence assessment-based results, we are now expecting them also to be released very soon. And you as the viewer, what do you think about these exams? Are we going to maybe see these exams also really attaining the results that we want to see them attain? That is also definitely something I do not know, but I must say, if at all, we will be able to realize the results, good results, and then this is the time where we expect each and everybody now to ensure that they actually do their part. And as parents, you have a great role to play in terms of supporting the schools and in terms of following your learners, in terms of giving the advice to your learners. Really, you have a great role to play in terms of changing the results, not only for Nakaseke, but for the entire country, such that our learners also pass together. And really, if you talk about good grades, then definitely if children pass, we are all proud. But once they fail, we are never happy, because the next generation entirely depends on these children who are in school today. And definitely if they do not pass, the secondary schools may not get the students. And then if the secondary schools not get students, and then at the end of the day also the universities could be able to lag behind in terms of also are getting the students, because really the foundation entirely depends on primary level, and that is why it is very, very important for such exercise to be conducted there. And I really feel that is the way to go. If at all that is something that we would want to also see, it would be very, very good for other districts where the performances was very, very much alarming. And still within the education sector, there's a teacher, a primary school teacher in Terego district who has been arrested for allegedly defiling his 16-year-old daughter. And this is something I must say is very, very unfortunate, because you realize that really as a parent, how do you defile your own daughter really? It is quite unfortunate. That tells us maybe the world is heading maybe to the end. And really I must say this is something also really that did not, which news we did not receive very well. And I must say the world must be shocked about this, because how do you defile a daughter, really a child that you gave birth to? That is something that really I must say must be condemned, and really we expect now police to also really do the needful. And really he has been detained now, sentenced to 3 years in jail, as investigations to the matter continue to be really going on. And the suspect has been identified as Paulino Chaleku, a teacher of Arijaku Primary School in BLF Sub-County, Terego District, who was arrested on Tuesday at Wandi Primary School in Katuni Sub-County. And Chaleku's arrest followed complaints from some concerned relatives for allegedly defiling his own daughter. And Josephine Angucha, the police spokesperson for West Nile, says they have already dispatched detectives to gather more evidence that is in relation to this investigation here. And Moses Mandebo, the LC3 chairperson for Katuni Sub-County, challenged the girls that is not to suffer silently, but to report such acts to police, so that police can do its work when it comes to issues of investigations. And that is something really I must say also as the world we must condemn, because if such instances continue to happen, then our girl child, who is most vulnerable, continues to suffer from the cases of defilement, where this actually leads them to nothing but really early marriages, which are not really good. And this puts the fate of the girl child at risk, because we are talking about women emancipation at this time, and this generation really we do not expect early marriages among girls, where we do not expect defilement, but really being defiled by the father is something I must say is very, very unfortunate, because really as a father we do not expect you, we expect you to be rather guide and protect this girl child, and you, if at all, then you become the victims of really also abusing the rights of these girls, and then definitely it becomes absurd, and we expect now you to suffer. To me really life imprisonment would be the best, such that maybe such parents would want to have really the same instances can also really serve as a warning to them, because really you realize that really how do you defile your own daughter? How do you even start developing feelings for somebody that you did give birth to? And that is one thing that we also saying. And incest still remains a challenge, where in our families we are still seeing people falling in love among each other. And yet our traditions are very, very much clear. And that is why we expect Lubarakari now with the final formulation, and we did see the constitutional review also taking place, and really we expect the leadership now to come out quickly, and really also to see to it that such instances are avoided, such that really we also let people to know about what is happening in the Lubarakari, and definitely I will also be able to let you know of that. And moving on with that story still, women, really we did see women also really going on and really organizing themselves in Terego District, and really also during the recently concluded Women's Day celebrations are actually raising a lot of issues affecting women. And you realize that at least 153 children in Western Sub-Region were defiled. That is in the annual police crime report of 2023. And what does that mean? That number is quite huge, because it may sound very, very small, but I must say that is quite a huge number. And really defilement still that remains a great challenge. Then it means that me and you out there have a role to play when it comes to issues of addressing defilement, because defilement really remains a challenge. But the saddest bit is when you are really, when you expect you to, as the parent, to protect these children, and then instead it is you violating their rights, and then that is quite absurd there. And I must say we must condemn that. We must desist from such tendencies, such that at the end of the day our girl child is protected. And that is something also really I want now some other discussion with. And moving on, the Royal Health Department is set to start implementation of activities that is integrated CAST Plus campaign that includes TB screening and referral of positive cases, and immunization services, antenatal services, malaria screening and treatment, HIV, nutrition, and other non-communicable, assessing water points and hygiene status. And that is something also really we expect now a rural city health department to be doing, because at the end of the day realize that really health is a great concern, and really once the population is not healthy, then definitely we realize that there's no wealth, because really usually they say health is wealth, and that is one reason also we must uphold our health. We must act responsibly, and we must protect ourselves, that is, from falling sick, because at the end of the day, treatment is something that could take a lot of money from us, yet preventable measures are always then in place, and that is one reason also we must protect from ourselves from these diseases that have been mentioned. And TB screening is always good. We must rush, that is, to the nearest facilities to have ourselves tested against this disease that can be treated, and that is one thing that I must also really call upon each and everybody out there to ensure that they do, and they must comply to that. And then HIV also still is a disease that is really something that we can also really ensure that we live longer from, if at all we get ourselves tested early and start, maybe depending on the medication at time, that is on time. That is also something that would also really extend our lifespan. And I must tell everybody out there to embrace early screening and testing. That is for both the diseases that I've talked about. That's at the end of the day, and nobody is left behind. That is something that really I must also really share with you as the viewer, and something also I want to now say we must all embrace. And still within health, red eye disease outbreak confirmed in Kampala schools. That is another thing that we are seeing here. And really, what does that mean? Definitely, that is something I must say we must be worried of, because red eye disease, I remember at a time when this disease actually also hit, that is Western sub-region. Most of the schools, really, we did see also this disease becoming a burden. And really at Aro Primary School where I was, that was around 2008 or 2009, really you realize that also this disease actually was one of the diseases that affected a number of pupils at the school, but I was not actually affected by disease. I was able to take care of myself, and that means that you as the viewer also can take yourself, can take proper care of yourself by really avoiding maybe in contact, by touching your eyes, washing your eyes with soap and water, clean water. That at the end of the day also really would maybe protect yourself from that disease. And avoiding handshakes is one way we could also avoid this disease here, because this is a contagious disease, but can we also be prevented. And the Kampala Capital City Authority has confirmed the outbreak of, that is, the red eye disease that is in Kampala schools within the Kampala metropolitan area, and in a letter dated March 13th addressed to all head teachers and principals, that's in government and private schools in Kampala. The authority says that they have been alerted by the Director of Public Health and Environment of an outbreak of, that is, conjunctivitis, which is actually a disease known as red eye commonly, and really in some of the parts in Kampala city also. That is one thing also really we have to ensure that we protect ourselves from, because this disease is one that is very, very dangerous, and once we protect ourselves from it, we may also really ensure that we protect our loved ones too. And we definitely have to also really protect our loved ones by guiding the children, because this disease, it is mostly the children who are more vulnerable to it, because at times they play with soil, they play amongst themselves, and really they are in contact with those who have the disease, and that is one way also the disease can spread to them. And we can also really tell them now that let them avoid such practices, so that at the end of the day the disease does not spread from one person to another. And Mr. Maginot also advises people to avoid handshaking and close contact with one another. That is one also way that we could also really ensure that we protect ourselves from this disease. And once affected, we also really need to ensure that we report the disease to the relevant authorities, so that at the end of the day we are treated. That is also one way I must say we'll protect our loved ones from this disease. And according to health experts, this disease is caused by virus, really a virus that really which is a bit contagious but clears up within a week without medical treatment. And signs include redness in the eye, pain in the eyes, irritation in the eye, swollen lining, that is in the eye, and watery eyes. These are some of the signs that maybe as the viewer you must know of, because if you don't know about this disease, then definitely you may continue to lag behind, and that is something that really would continue to affect you and your family members out there. And we must also tell our children that we must avoid handshakes, and this is also something really as parents out there we have to continue telling the young children. This gospel of washing hands using clean soap and really clean water and soap is also the way to go, such that at the end of the day we not touch our eyes. And avoiding touching of the eyes is another way to go when it comes to protecting ourselves from this disease. And that is also something that really summarizes our discussions as we head into the first break of the show. My name is FARISH Majid, and from wherever you are watching us from, I want to say thank you so much. And really you can also drop your comments and let us know maybe where you're watching us from and what you think about what we're discussing here, as we look forward to having more discussions that is on the show. Let's first take a short commercial break, and we bounce back shortly from now. Thank you.
Nile TV, lighting up the region.
AFCON, all 52 games live only on Star Times. Star Times brings you Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023 live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana. Lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your Star Times subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. Star Times, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
all 52 games live only on Star Times. Star Times brings you Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023 live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana. Lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your Star Times subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. Star Times, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. This is the Kokoliriko live show, and we are yet continuing with you up the hour of 9 a.m. And my name is FARISH MAJID, and it's a great pleasure having you on board, watching us from wherever you're watching us from. And I must say, it's always a great pleasure having you on board one more time, as we always do it each and every Mondays to Fridays. And this is also where you get no information about what is happening in the corridors of current affairs. And yesterday we did see the NRM voter verification and registration update going on, and I must say the turnout was a bit low in most of the areas we were able to visit. For instance, in Arua City and in Nebi also, the turnout was a bit low, and really we'll be able, now we have been joined by, that is OBIGA Mario Kania, who is also the NRM chairperson, that is for Terego district, and he also happens to be the State Minister for Lands and Urban Development, to also really tell us maybe how the exercise did go on, that is in his district of Terego there, to also let us know maybe if at all the turnout was a bit high or low, what was the challenge and where is the gap. And it's a great pleasure having you on board. You're most welcome to West Nile Television.
Thank you, West Nile Television. Good morning, viewers.
Yes, good morning and you're most welcome really to the show. And yesterday we did see the 5 days exercise commencing that started on the 13th, which was yesterday, and will be able to run till the 17th. And in Arua City, the turnout was a bit low, and which was actually attributed to involvement of not all stakeholders, and this is something that leaders or maybe somebody who affiliated the party were able to say. And in most of the areas that we visited them, they were actually saying the involvement was not there, and really some of them were actually left out in this exercise, and that is why the mobilization bit was lacking. And how was the exercise maybe in Terego district as day one did go on yesterday?
Well, like in any other part of the country, we have been doing the training of the registrars who are going to register the people at the village level, and we completed it on the 12th. Now, yesterday, the 13th, that is from Wednesday, was the actual beginning of the registration. Most of these registrars went with the registers a bit late, and the information reached the people a bit late on the 12th. That's on Tuesday. Therefore, it was only natural that the turn-up yesterday, Wednesday, the 13th, was a bit low. But for me, I was encouraged because a lot of people were inquiring as to where the registrars will be and what will be the process, and they had to adjust their programs. But overall, there was already an excitement about the exercise, and I'm sure that by today, in the next few days, people will be coming in bigger numbers. The advice we give to the registrars is position yourselves where you can get the population. And you don't have to be fixed. You can shift yourselves from time to time, I mean from day to day, so that you're able to catch the biggest number in your village. Remember, the registration is taking place in the village, which is relatively smaller. We've also asked the party leaders at all levels to go out and mobilize, tell the people about the registration which is going on. So when these are the people at the village, we're asking everybody to concentrate at the village level. So when all this exercise, I mean when this information is gone and done, by today, I'm sure by tomorrow, the number will even be bigger, and I expect a bigger number today. Remember these are only 3 days, I mean 5 days. In fact, 4 days of registration. The 5th day on Sunday is when the village will gather to scrutinize the entire registration, and we will call a village baraza to verify each entry and each list on that list of register. So I'm hopeful that the exercise go on very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talking about the 5 days in Arua City, some of the leaders were actually saying these days are not enough. In Terego, are these 5 days enough in your own opinion, or in your own assessment of maybe how the exercise did go on yesterday?
We encourage people to do it in the last 5 days. The reason is from various experiences which we have seen in Uganda. Even when you give more days, people relax. And this is only a simple exercise which takes less than 5 minutes. When you go there, you don't take more than 5 minutes. So we do not expect people not to finish in these 5 minutes. And probably, I mean, these 5 days, you have about, at most, about 500 people who are going to register in a village. Now, these 500 people, even if 100 come in a day, at the rate of 5 minutes per person, we should be able to finish in the 5 days. The challenge here is mobilizing people to come. We ask everybody, every party leader, everybody who loves the NRM to participate. Let's not start anticipating that the days are not enough. That is negative thinking. So 5 days, in my view, are adequate. The people were registered. First of all, the exercise is about verification. when the registrars come to the village, they are coming with a list of people who have already been registered. So people are coming to see that register and say, am I on the list? Am I not on the list? Are my identities all recorded correctly? My names, are they there correctly in the right order? Again, is my NIN number there? Is my age correct? And you sign. That is the first exercise. The second one the people are going to do, and these are all going concurrently, is people who come new. They've never been on the list. They are coming out to say, I want to register. For whatever reason, I was in another party. I'm tired of these parties which are falling apart, and I want to come to this steady NRM. They will find the registrars there willing and the people to accept them. There are also others who probably died or have moved. And that is up to the village and the registrars to ensure that their names are struck out. So really the exercise is very simple, as long as the party leaders and the party functionaries, the people who are all interested, can give it a shot in the next 5 days. We must be able to finish it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, one challenge that was very, very much raised by some of the leaders was that they were not involved. They were left out in the exercise. Was this the same case maybe in Terego district, and where could that have maybe resulted from? And this was an observation that was made in Arua City. And was that maybe the same case as it was in Terego district of yesterday?
Everybody is involved at every level. For example, we started at the national level. We could not carry everybody to Kampala. We carried the trainers, the registrars, trained them in Kampala on the 29th, 28th and 29th of February. We took the chairpersons and we trained all of them. After training them, we asked them to come and train people at the involved. What is the involvement? Go out, mobilize the people in your home state with 30 party officials, 30 at the village. And if each of those divides the households for mobilizations, even if there are 100 or 200 home states in a village, you divide by 30, you will be having less than 60 households to mobilize. And those 60 villages to home state to mobilize, you'll then be able to get them to go. Allocate them a day, they go as soon as possible, preferably today, and tomorrow they finish. The rest of the time will be left free. So I don't see a vacuum where people were not involved. Everybody will be involved, everybody is being involved at the right time, from right up to the national level, up to the village level. So if you are not involved at the national level, you have an opportunity to be involved at the district level or at the city level. If you are not involved at the city level, you now have an opportunity, you are involved in the district, at the sub-county level. If you didn't get involved at the sub-county level, now you have an opportunity now to get involved at the village level. At a small micro level, choose a few number of home states around you. Don't waste time going to the largest end of the village. No, do your part near the village.
Yes, Honorable, I was actually coming to that. Maybe what message do you have for the party cadres who are this time exempting themselves from this exercise because they are saying they were not involved, and I do understand that could maybe come as a result of financial implication that this exercise is coming with, and as the party maybe could have also not maybe intended to do that. What message do you have for these party cadres and maybe who are not really participating in this exercise right now? You do understand so many of them, yesterday we were not seen actually taking part in this exercise in terms of mobilizing the supporters to come and maybe take part in this exercise. What one message do you have for these people who are out there and they're party cadres and they are really associated with the party and they support the party, but now with this exercise, with that claim of not being involved and not taking part in this exercise, what message do you have for these people in particular?
Now, to all our party cadres, we've had so many activities. This is not the only one. We've had so many activities, right from the national level up to the village level, from the time of our inception up to today. Our activities are not hinged on money. And I don't think these cadres are complaining about money. No. My feeling is that they are complaining about lack of information. I'm here passing the information. From yesterday, after the training on Tuesday, the registrars are passing this information to them. So, at the information level, I think that has now reached them. And that's why they're saying, why we're not involved at an earlier stage. We could not inform them at the earlier stage because of the planning. Even when the Central Executive Committee, for example, met and they discussed this matter, I'm not a member of the Central Executive Committee. I was not involved. And many other people were not involved. The district chairpersons like me were not involved. They had to leave the Central Executive Committee to do its work. So involvement is a matter of timing. Is this the right time to involve these other people? Now we've reached the stage where we're saying everybody must be a foot soldier. Actually, the president's statement over this matter is very, very clear. He has written a letter to every party member to say we are now foot soldiers to make sure that we go and mobilize people to register. We verify our own records. We make sure that everybody comes in a massive way to register in this mighty party. And we're able to complete the program. And I want to ask our cadres, party activity world over is not about money. It is not. And they've seen it for themselves. Actually, the biggest supporters of our party are the voters. We've never paid, President Museveni has never paid each voter for money, except the service which provides as the chairman of the party, the president of the country, and the head of state. Once he provides that service very well, once our party performs very, very well, and is able to give people the service that is required, all of us are beneficiaries. And I think we've done very, very well over the last so many years since we formed the party in since the party started working in 2016. 2006. I therefore ask them, and my message to them is, let us love our party, let us be dedicated to our party. We're in the right track. Good enough for us, the opportunity, the environment is very, very good. The people, because of the services that we have done, the people have liked the party. In the process of providing this service, there may be challenges. By the way, for example, one of the biggest services we provided for this country was to rescue the country from the epidemic of corona. That was a huge, huge service. I've not heard anybody talking about it. If the party and the president and the government had not had the correct policy, probably our population would have been wiped out. We wouldn't have any Uganda talked about. We wouldn't have any Ugandans to talk about. We wouldn't have any NRM to talk about. So we're all beneficiaries of what this party is doing in the country. Forget about these other small, small things which come every day. I mean, once in a while. Once in a while. We don't live because of the money given by the party, but we live because of the service that has been provided by the party. So my appeal to them is, love our party, love our party, love our party, and forget about this negative thinking.
Okay, ranging maybe at the end of the process, how many people do you project to register in Tarago district? That is by maybe identifying themselves as the rightful members of the NRM, maybe as in 3 minutes time as we head into another short commercial break, and we shall be able to bounce back shortly.
I don't want to predict any specific figures, but definitely I can say in general terms that from the interest I've seen of the people who have shown in the party, from the fact that the population has increased, Remember in Iterego, in a few years back, people used to fear about talking about the party. People used to fear to associate themselves with the party. But now, the party is a darling in Iterego. So I expect a huge, almost a double number, whatever the current number is, I expect a double number. And I will be very happily satisfied with that. So I expect a bigger number to come out. And a few of our people who had not seen the light in the opposition, and they are really very few, I am sure they will have registered for the good intentions in the party. Of course, we are saying for the good intentions because there may be very, very few who might be coming for other intentions to come either to sabotage or to earn benefits, to get a few benefits. But that is not the main purpose of this registration. The main purpose of the registration is to make sure that we have a clean, credible register which we can use for future activities of the party. Thank you.
All right, that is none other than Honorable Minister OBIGA Mario Kania, and he is also the district chairperson for NRM, that is Terego District, and taking us, that is on the ongoing process of, that is voter registration and update of information, that is for the supporters of the ruling government, that is of the NRM, as we are assessing how maybe the program did go on, that is in Terego District. But I must mention, yesterday in Arua City, the turnout was a bit low, but today we can still take advantage. Maybe since people were, it was the first day, you know, Ugandans very, very much love going out. Maybe in the last day, we love doing our things at last moments. And maybe at the end of the day, of the 5 days, that's when we shall be able to see overwhelming numbers. But of yesterday, in Arua City, I must say the numbers were not very, very well. And in Nebi also, we did see the process not going on well, where maybe this could have resulted into the issues of picking the registrars, where the registrars also did go on to pick the books a bit late in some of the areas. As I was able to move to as early as 9 a.m. Some of the areas had not yet actually started the exercise, and by midday, that is when most of them actually started with the exercise. But today, I hope all will go on well, and now the party members could actually take advantage of that, because at the end of the day, I do understand that there will be repercussions for those who do not actually also get themselves registered. And Honorable is still with us here, and he will be able to tell us maybe in the second hour of what conditions, maybe what maybe some of the punishments that would come with those who shun the exercise. And right for now, let's first run for a short commercial break, and when we return back, we shall be able to continue with the conversation with that. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
on all 52 games live only on Star Times. Star Times brings you Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023 live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana. Lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your Star Times subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. Star Times, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, welcome back from that short commercial break. This is still the Kokoliriko live show on West Nile Television channel 0073 on Zuku and online wherever you're watching us from. I must say it's a great pleasure having you on board this morning. And in a special way, allow me to appreciate that is Justino Achirano watching us all the way from Ariwara. And not forgetting Twaha, that is Wachawaseme, also really watching us on Facebook. That is from the part of Congo. And really, I must say, it's a great pleasure having you on board this morning. And if at all you as the viewer out there also has a question, that is to the Honorable Minister, who also doubles as the chairperson for Terego District NRM there. You can also really put your comment, maybe comment or question there. We'll be able to maybe also answer to that. And he is still in place. He will be able to answer that loudly and clearly. And that is also one thing that we must say you can take advantage of. If you have maybe any concern that maybe you can also put forward that is in relation to this exercise, please feel free to drop your comments there and we shall be able to read them clearly. And before we did go into the break, I was asking Honorable maybe on what some of the punishments could be for those who are party members, but now they are shunning themselves from the exercise and they would not want to participate in this exercise here. And with the issues of maybe voter registration, because at the end of the day, I do understand that they will be able to give out, that is, yellow cards. And this is to the confirmed members now. What does that maybe mean? What maybe punishments await those who may not be able to be part of this exercise here? Thank you.
No, principally, if you don't want to participate in this exercise, whether you are NRM already or not, principally, there will not be a punishment. I wouldn't call it a punishment. But I think you will lose a huge opportunity, a very big opportunity to participate in the affairs of your party. Let me assume that you are a member already and you don't participate in mobilizing people. You don't go and verify your names and there are defects in your name. Obviously, the registrars will strike you out. That's not a punishment, but just a process in which you refuse to participate, and therefore you'll become ineligible as a member of the party. If you love your party, if you love your country and want to participate, I don't think you want that to happen. That's why I'm appealing to all the cadres, all the people who have already registered and who love this party, to go and register. But there's also an element of course, punishment when it comes. If you go out to try to sabotage, remember, this is a national exercise based on the rights enshrined in the Constitution, which gives the people the right to form their political parties. And NRM is formed on the principles of the Constitution, with its legal constitution. So if you go out to sabotage, the laws of this country will catch up with you directly. That's where the element of punishment will be. So, do not go out to sabotage. Whether you are a party member or not, don't go out to sabotage the exercise. But secondly, particularly, if you're a member, be active. Because if you don't become active, you lose opportunities. That is as far as the issue of whether there's a punishment or not, what the punishment will be, is concerned about. Having said that, what are some of the benefits that you are likely to lose You not participate in the party, other party activities which are coming up. The primary elections, the party structure elections, and the general, as far as the primary elections for the various activities, from the LC1 up to the national level. Those are big denials. So I don't see why anybody, and I don't imagine that if anybody will do that for that purpose.
There's a belief that was yesterday raised that some of this exercise could not be doing well because of sabotage by some of the leaders, maybe under opposition, who have been warning, maybe also that is depopularizing the exercise. Maybe what message do you have for the voters who actually may be discouraged, that is, from participating in this exercise? It could be by the opposition leaders. I don't want to believe that, but really also it could also be have been for different reasons. Maybe what message do you have for those party supporters who were discouraged as of yesterday, and maybe since today is the second day, they could be able to also maybe change in mind and have themselves registered in this exercise?
Of course, really, sabotaging a legal activity like a party registration of people is illegal and criminal. That's why I said people can be criminalized. But it is up to us, the party members, to make sure we go out and we counter. At the same time, we counter this criminality of anybody who's trying to sabotage, not only from the opposition, but even it's those from maybe within. If there are few, I don't know whether they are there. I've not come across them. But if there is anybody, any Ugandan who wants to sabotage, then we must go and counter such a person. First, by mobilizing massively against such a demobilization. But secondly, using the legal aspect to counter it. So we have all the machinery. And remember this, we're in government, we have the power to do a few of these things. And any Ugandan has a right to counter this kind of sabotage. So I don't expect it. And I'm hopeful that, this is the first time that I'm hearing about it since yesterday. I've not heard about it, but I don't think it is. And in an open way, we have informed the security people that we are going on with this exercise, and we expect their support, not to mobilize people to register, but to secure us as a party, because we're also Ugandans, and they have a right, we have a right to be secured by the security forces.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's this allegation I want to treat as a rumor, which was actually raised as to why this exercise didn't go on well, that is in Arua City. It is believed that maybe NRM has monitorized every process, and they have been giving out monies into most of their campaigns, maybe most of their several government projects, and that is why this did not pick up, because the money aspect was not there. This is entirely maybe a voluntary process where the voters who have to come out and do this for the love of their party. How can you respond to that allegation that was actually said as to why this program may not be able to pick up because of the money aspect? Is that true?
No, NRM has not monetized any, commercialized or monetized the politics or its activities. The only time when NRM gets involved with money is through the right channels to push the government agencies to release money to the public. For example, Paris development model. This is a principle, this was a strategic policy of government that money must reach the people. And it's not an NRM, it is an NRM strategy in terms of the manifesto, but it is a government activity being implemented by the government in power. And the government means both opposition and the NRM working together. So it is a government policy. There you cannot say NRM's activities are monetized. But it is also true that if you have got to get leaders from here, from point A in Arua, for example, to go to Kampala, you must facilitate their transport. They cannot, yes, those who can facilitate on their own may be able to do it, but at least at the minimum, at the moment, you must facilitate them to go. And when they are there, you must give them some food. You must accommodate them, and they must come back. That is not monetization. That, in my view, is facilitation. The same thing that happens here in the city and in the district. People are coming from the villages to the district headquarters, to the city, to come and discuss party affairs, where the party has the money. It will obviously facilitate their transport. But the bulk of the activities of NRM are not monetized because they take place in the village and they are done by the foot soldiers. And I can assure you those foot soldiers, whether during the campaigns or not, they do not do it because they are given money. They do it out of the voluntary spirit. I said it before that in the case of Terego, and I believe this is now all over Uganda. During the time of activities of the NRM, the spirit of the NRM members to go out and mobilize for their people is massive. If you went to Dokolo today, where there's a primary election going on, a process going on, you will find many NRM cadres campaigning there for their candidate. They are not doing it because they are paid money. No. Just any reporter or any Ugandan go there, you will ask, how much money have you paid to those people who are attending rallies, to those who are telling to go to attend rallies, who are canvassing support for the NRM candidate? You will find there's no single money. So this idea about NRM commercializing politics is completely wrong. The only thing I know very clear is once in a while, NRM has the money to facilitate its delegates wherever they go. Yes.
Then there's this issue also about party flag bearers. You were a candidate and you are the chairperson of the NRM that's in the district there. And yesterday, there is this challenge also that was actually raised, where that people who have interest, that is in the political positions of NRM as leaders, could also really maybe have a hand in terms of also wanting to affect the process that is in the registration and verification exercise that is ongoing. Maybe what message do you have for them, maybe in terms of maybe where they have conflicts among themselves, or maybe they could be also destabilizing or destroying that is the ongoing process. In terms of this, how maybe best can you respond, and maybe how best also can you issue the guideline to them in terms of not really, maybe in terms of putting politics aside, but working for the good cause of the party as we are undertaking this process here?
First of all, we who are leaders and those who are aspiring leaders, we must put something in our mind. We're building a party which will live beyond us. I'm building a party in Terego which will live beyond me. So it is short-sighted and naive for me to say I only want to register people who will vote for me. It is very naive. Because what happens when I'm not there? So the first principle for any leader, whether he's aspiring to stand or not in the NRM, is to register all the people who positively identify and they want to be candidates. I mean, they want to be members of the party, irrespective of where they will vote. Then remember this, and this is specifically for people like me who are aspiring. The elections are still some 2 years ahead. 2 years ahead. You are registered, you are recruiting somebody today, and you think in 2 years this person's mind will still remain on you. How are you going to maintain this person for 2 years to make sure that he's still with you? So this is again another very short-sighted activity as far as you as an individual you want to be. So my view is that let's leave that, let's go out, mobilize. In fact, the more mobilize, neutrally you mobilize, ultimately the more people will vote for you. Because they will know this person did it without, I mean, did it selflessly, and they will know your activity, and they want to reward it by votes when you actually appeal for it. But if you go now selectively, you're actually decampaigning people who would even be able to vote for you, because ultimately all of them will register anyway. If there are people in Terego whom I don't want to register now, but somehow they will register because they are ladders. If you're not registered at the village level, you will raise your complaint. At the parish level, we'll look at it. At the sub-county level, we'll look at it. And at the district level, we'll look at it. At the national level, we'll look at it. And if your case is correct, you'll obviously be registered at some point. And once you're registered, when such a person is registered, that person will not vote for you. So I don't encourage it, and I completely ask anybody who is a leader of substance
Honorable,
to
at this
stop
time,
it.
you realize that some of the opposition members are now crossing to the NRM government, as you also did talk about it here. And I do understand that there's a criteria that they are supposed to follow. Maybe they have to first of all apply maybe to the RDCs, and that is where they will be able to be shown in. How is that entire process for those who may want to cross over to NRM from for whatever maybe opposition party they're coming from, to also really join the ruling government of NRM now? What criteria are you using to see to it that they are also welcome? Because I do understand NRM is a party that is a bit open, where entry and exit is free, and really if you want to leave, you are free to go, and in case you also want to join, there is usually room for you. And maybe what conditions are you undertaking during this verification exercise for such who would want to really also join the NRM? Because we have now seen, because at this time we have seen maybe posters where we cannot talk about, where some of the candidates are said to have crossed, that is from the opposition groups to NRM, and then maybe during this exercise, for the party members or party supporters who would wish to join the NRM, what criteria are you going to use to also maybe incorporate them into the ruling government?
We encourage people who generally want to join the party for the right reasons. We encourage them. Both those who have never joined any other party and those who are joining from the other parties which already exist where they belong. We encourage them. I've already given the reason. We want more members. Our purpose is to encourage our members to come in. And the processes are very simple. You, for example, if you're joining from another party, you come, you show your the party to which you belonged to the village registrar, and if you have a card, you surrender the card. If you don't have the card, you swear an affidavit, and once you have sworn an affidavit, it's just a document which you sign, it becomes a commitment, and you are registered. Now, the reason why we think you should be sworn in is we want your commitment, we want your legitimacy. We do not want to appear as if we are stealing other parties' members. We want to show that people are coming voluntarily. Now, that is a very simple process which people should be, and you should go through it. Why? Because, let me give this example. I'm a Catholic, but before I became a Catholic, I did not just walk into the church and ask the priest to give me a Holy Communion. I was taken, or I went to the church, and they gave me a period of training, how to be, what it is to be a Catholic, what I should do, what I should not do, what to expect. It is the same thing. When you come in this party, what do you expect? What do we expect of you? And then, even after that, I did not go and take the Holy Communion. I fasted to be take another training for the first Holy Communion. And finally, I was admitted into the full process of the Catholic Church. It is the same thing. So, because of the freedom, you just don't say, today I've abandoned the other party, I walk in, I am therefore everything, without that little small process. And in our case, it is really very, very small. It does not even take, like I said, 5 or 10 minutes. You will have finished. By the way, we must be talking about this exercise. Somebody out there could be listening to it for the very first time. Yes. And how simple is the exercise? Maybe if you can be able to take us. I've already said it's very, very simple. You walk with your identity card, national identity card. Number 2, you walk with your ID, the party ID from the other party. You walk to the registrar in your village. Once you are there, they will verify and confirm that you are of another party, or you want to cross to the other one. Then they will give you a form of a declaration, a statutory declaration, which you sign. Once you have signed that, that is the end of the story. They will enter your list, except if there are some doubts as to why you are joining. At that stage, if they think there is a doubt, then we have a village committee, the NRM village committee, the 5 deck members plus other senior party members in the village. They will say, this man, we think is, this woman, we think is credible, genuinely has turned up for registration and is not against our party, therefore we register him or her. it is as simple as that process. It's just a process of making sure that once you are verified, I mean, once you are brought in, you are fully accepted, so that nobody else can doubt for you. Actually, it is good for the new entrants. It's very good for them. It helps them to be accepted fully.
Okay, talking about the new members, these definitely we may see the youths falling under here. And as new voters or else, maybe as party members who are already there, what message do you have for the youths? Because youth are definitely very, very much instrumental.
Exactly. And it's particularly, I have a very, very strong message for the youth. Today you are a youth. Probably you are 20 years, you are 30 years, you are 25 years. This is your most active part of your life. After that, maybe up to about 45 years, you will be active as a youth. And you want to participate in the national affairs of this country at this moment. You want to participate constructively and positively. In my view, the only viable party in which you can constructively and positively participate now is the NRM. So I have a very strong message to the youth that please go and register in the NRM. Don't waste time. The opportunities for participation in the national affairs of this country for you and in the near future in your life as a youth and beyond is here. Remember this. When this phase of you being a youth passes, you will not be a youth. And probably you will find it difficult to assert yourself back. You will be the former youth, like some of us are now the former youth. We were one time a youth. Remember this. The one talking to you was one time a youth. And by God's grace, I think I made a decision which has put me in a position where I'm able to constructively participate. And that was within the NRM. So having said that, I encourage the youth to go massively to register. I'm also aware that there's a category of youth, particularly in the schools, because especially those in the schools who are in the boardings, and this thing is taking place in the villages. They are very far from their villages. They should not despair. At the right time, the NRM will make arrangements for them. I am sure they are going to be registered. Let them continue with their studies for now. Let them continue loving the NRM in their hearts. But the moment the right time comes, they will be able to come and register. But for the youth who have the opportunity now, my urge is go. You are the future leaders of this country. You are the future leaders of this party. And when you look at the political terrain now and you analyze it constructively, there is no other arena in which you can play your role, I think.
Maybe talking about the youths, I do understand that the registration starts from 16 years.
Yes, we are registering youth from 16 years as well, and in a separate part of the register, because understandably, they are youth, and if there was election today, they will not be able to register. But why we register those people of the 16 years and above, or 16 years now, is because we expect that in about a year or two, in 2 years, we'll be going for general elections, primary elections of the NRM. And those primary elections, the primary elections of the NRM are just like any other general election. And any adult, that is somebody who is above the age, who is 18 years plus, is encouraged and entitled to participate in that election. So we are looking forward, as usual, NRM is looking forward to make sure that by 2026, these youth will have the opportunity to vote in the general election. In 2015, they'll be able to participate in voting for in the NRM primary elections. So we're taking that contingency.
Okay. As we are running out of time, you know, time is not our best ally. We're just remaining with 2 minutes. Maybe your final message to the stakeholders involved in this process. It could be maybe the registrars or the party members. Maybe that one message you have for them as we come to the end of this program here. Thank you.
It is the message with which I started. The registrars, make yourselves available to the people. Look for the people where they are in big numbers, and where possibly you can't get them, go to them. Number two, the party supporters, party structures in the villages, go out in your villages, in your vicinity. Don't go very far, and mobilize the people. Tell them about this. With 5 days, that on the 5th day, on Sunday, at 2 o'clock, you will all gather at your arena to come and have a baraza to verify every entry that has been made there. After that, no other entry will be made for the time being. So let everybody go out and mobilize people. This is a big opportunity to clean, so that we don't have the past mistakes which we made, the past problems which we incurred with our primaries and the election of our leaders. Okay. I thank you.
All right, thank you so much for coming through and also talk to the NRM supporters, and really wish to continue with the program, but now time is not our best ally. We're just remaining with 1 minute, and as in a special way, allow me to thank whoever watched us right from the time we began until this hour of the morning. I say it's always a great pleasure having you on board, and today we did have, that is Honorable Minister OBIGA Mario Kania, whom today is in the capacity of NRM chairperson, Terego district, and really also telling us about the exercise which commenced yesterday, and this exercise will be able to run till the 17th of March. So the NRM supporters out there, you have the opportunity to have yourself as registered members, and really, if at all you are a genuine member, this is actually the time now. You must also have yourselves registered so that you obtain the party card. That could not also really maybe limit you from the affairs of the party, for instance, maybe primary elections or maybe any other party activity, because you will be able to be identified as a genuine member. Now, from today, you can also really still go on and rush maybe to the nearest centers where this verification exercise is going on. For now, we come to a closer with the discussion with the NRM, and we are still coming back with more other topics. For now, let me also let go of the guest as we rush into another short commercial break. Thank you.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Africa's biggest football tournament, AFCON 2023 live in English and Luganda commentary. Starting January 13th, don't miss Mo Salah, Sadio Mane or Nana. Lead the hunt for gold as they take center stage. Renew your StarTimes subscription today and enjoy all 52 matches in HD live on Sports Premium and Sanyuka Prime. StarTimes, the official broadcaster of AFCON 2023. This message is powered by Techno, the official sponsor of AFCON 2023.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, welcome back. Hoping you are still with us. This is the Kokoliriko live show on West Nile Television, and we are yet to continue with the discussion. In the first hour, we did have a discussion that is in relation to the ongoing verification and update registrar of NRM, which is actually ongoing, where we did host, that is none other than Honorable Minister for Lands and Urban Development, who also doubles as the NRM chairperson for Terego District, that is Obiga Mario Kania, taking us through the process, and hope you had a wonderful time with him. And now for those who are lacking knowledge about it, now you have the knowledge at your disposal, and really that is one reason also we are here, to keep you informed of what is happening in and around the world, and really also not leaving anything that is happening in the corridors of current affairs. And really that is where this actually debate comes in from, and really we hope you had a wonderful time too over there. And now moving to Nebi, where issues of land conflicts have been there. Now the Nebi locals have been tipped on land rights, and this is something also where we did see it going on, that is in the Rusi sub-county, where the locals of Nebi district in West Nile sub-region have been tipped on rights, and constitutional mandate is, that is as far as issues of ownership of land is concerned. And really I believe this is actually an important move, and really a gesture that really maybe the issues of, that is the land conflicts, maybe the fights that have been going on there, where people have been killed, maybe in relation to this, is now going to be avoided, because really you realize that issues of land conflicts that is in the West Nile sub-region have always been there, where we have oftentimes seen people killing each other, people fighting amongst themselves, which has actually not been very, very good there. And now in Nebi, where this issue, where this good gesture which is coming from, and I believe they will also really extend the same to also educate other people of other areas, so that we avoid tendencies of these land conflicts that have been ongoing there. West Nile sub-region has for a long while really faced land governance challenges and opportunities, which has actually paved, now which has also posed a threat, that is the security of the area, where we have seen families clashing among themselves, where we have seen also tribal fights resulting from the same. So I believe also with that, definitely that would also really at the end of the day avoid some of these fights. And although the region is known for its fertile land and agricultural potential, the locals face issues that is related to land tenure and security, and which is actually there resulting from land grabbing and gender disparities, that is in land ownership, limited information about and access to justice, as well as land management practices, which have all posed a risk threat, that is the security of the area with these issues of the land conflicts. And now I believe with this gesture that is coming from Nebi, which I also pray needs to be extended to other areas, maybe in Zombo also, maybe in Pakwach, as well as Arua City and other areas, it would be very, very important, such that at the end of the day, these issues that we cannot talk about are avoided, because if we not really ensure that issues of land conflicts are avoided, then definitely the security of the area will also be affected. And once there's no security, then there's no development. This is something that we always talk about, and that is one thing that the people may be enjoying, because if there's no if there's security, then definitely the issues of development will also continue to go on, and that is one reason also investors will be able to be attracted, and with that development there, and I believe this is the good way to go. And really Eastern and Southern Africa Small Scale Farmers Forum, Uganda really also did conduct a 2-day land rights camp in the sub-region last week to raise awareness about the significance of responsible land governance and women's land rights in promoting inclusive and sustainable development. And remember, recently we did celebrate the Women's Day, and we are still into the Women's Month, which is actually talking about gender equality, where we are calling for that's inclusivity of women in all sectors. And now issues of land ownership does not limit anybody, be it a woman or a man. You still have the right to own land. And Western Sub-Region, where we have been believing that entirely land belongs to men, and this is something also we have seen our cultures are very, very much promoting there, where we have often had challenges with the ownership of land, where the girl child or the women have been thrown out by the boy child or the men, saying that this land belongs to them. And we have seen widows also being grabbed land by more so the brothers to the deceased. Maybe also that has also been posing a great challenge. And now with these issues, maybe the issues of land grabbing are now going to be avoided. And this gender disparity is also where some men have been throwing out women from owning the land can also be avoided. And I believe that is a good gesture now. And it would also be very, very important there. And other objectives included, included facilitating discussions on best practices for sustainable land management, on the integration of that is responsible agriculture, investment protocols. And Western Sub-Region, by the way, has fertile lands. If at all we invested very well in agriculture, we would see a lot of money coming from the region, and we would be able to be identified as the food basket, as of the nation. So I think that would also very, very much be good for us, because some of the areas cannot be identified as maybe food baskets. For instance, maybe other areas like central Uganda, where the population has gone high, where land that initially used to be for agriculture is now being turned into settlement. So I think we could actually take the advantage of feeding such areas where the land is still very much vast. So I think my humble appeal to everybody out there is the issues of land ownership and governance needs to be first of all streamlined, such that at the end of the day maybe these fights can be avoided. And other objectives that really we did see Hakim Balirana, the national board chairperson of ESAF Uganda, really also echoing out his message on there, saying this is to make sure that we promote food security and responsible land governance, creating awareness and also building the capacity of farmers that is on issues related to land, and really also to see different approaches used like community engagement tool. That is something where we did see him commenting about the same there. And the land rights camp also sought to promote dialogue and collaboration among stakeholders, including local governments, farmers' organizations, and community members, to also really echo out their voices. And that, to me, is a very, very good there also to see to it that these issues are avoided, because land conflicts have often paved that is a threat, that is the security of this area, where we have seen a lot of concern oftentimes being registered. And really that, to me, is not good, because really, if this continues to go on, then definitely that would also really not be very, very important. Then that summarizes our discussion. Now we're also seeing Biden and Trump setting records for being the oldest presidential contests ever. Really also that is something also we are seeing here, and we are saying maybe what does this mean? Is it time for them to hang up their boots? We do not know, but really we are seeing them becoming the oldest aspirants ever, and now that is the history of that country there. And really, what do you think about it? You can also as well share your opinions on what you think about that comment there, and really that would also really be very, very good. And moving on, we still have lots more where we really have to also let you know of, because we do not exclude any other aspect. All we are there to touch all the aspects, and we are also there to keep you informed and updated of what is happening right in the country, nationally, that's internationally, also world over, because at the end of the day we must know of what is happening, and that is why we bring in each and every topic, that is starting right from the region until that is the international scene. And you can also be part of the show and also let us know maybe of what you want us to discuss, more so with this period here where we're witnessing a lot of accident cases being registered. What do you think maybe also we could do in line to that at the end of the day, also to see to that we are safe, because we want to see a country that is safe. We want to see ourselves very much safe, as we do not now perish, that is from accidents. What do you think of where we can do that? Because recently we did see an accident happening where at least a life was also claimed, which is to me very, very unfortunate. And moving on, UK to offer jailed asylum seekers, that is really shillings, that is $3,836 to relocate to Rwanda. That's something that we are seeing here now. And the British government is planning to pay asylum seekers, that is up to shillings $3,000 to each move to Rwanda. And a voluntary plan that is to help clear the backlog of refugees who have fled their applications to remain in the country that was rejected. And really that is something also we are seeing here now. What do you think about that? The new agreement with Rwanda is separate from government's stalled plan to forcibly deport, that is, most asylum seekers to the country, which was last year ruled unlawful by the UK's Supreme Court. And instead, it mirrors that is an existing governance policy where asylum seekers are offered financial assistance to leave Britain from their home country, but under the new plan, people will get money if they agree to leave, that is to live in Rwanda. And that is something that we must say also could be a very good gesture, because really some of these people have not been maybe also living good life there. But really, one reason people flee their countries is because they do not feel maybe where they are is not very, very much happy. They're not contented with maybe with what is happening. They're not contented with what is going on in their countries. That is the reason as to why they may also want to flee their countries and move to these European countries where the population also is now said to be very much high. What does that mean? That definitely tells us maybe that is not very, very important there. And the new argument with Rwanda is separate. That is where also we are seeing that happening. And what do you think as the viewer? Are we going to see the population of Rwanda going up and up, maybe very high? That is also something that you could also share your opinion with us as the viewer of this show. This is where also we say we not maybe reject our comments, but so long as they are not maybe disrespectful, so long as they are not abusive, because we do not maybe condemn. We very much condemn that. But if they are told they are fair enough, we also can share them with the rest of the viewers. And really that does summarize our discussions, as we also summarize with sports. Yesterday we did have a game that is in Champions League, at least 2 games going on, that is between Atletico Madrid and Inter Milan, and the game ended 2-1, that is in favor of Atletico Madrid. And then also in Champions League yesterday we did have, that is a game between Borussia Dortmund and PSV Eindhoven, and the game also ended 2-0 in favor of, that is Borussia Dortmund there. And now with some of the teams that have also progressed to the next level are now identified, and among these teams is actually one that surprised many, that is Arsenal Football Club, and now progressing to the next level is actually a surprise to many after about 14 years, and we expect them to maybe see them in the next level. Are we going to see them maybe through to the next level, that is the semi-finals, as out of the quarter-finals? That is something I do not know, but we shall also really keep you updated of what is happening there. Meanwhile, in the English Premier League also, there was a game on card which was between Bournemouth and Luton Town, and the game ended 4-1 in favor of, that is Bournemouth, and also that is something that we cannot exclude going on there. And really that summarizes our discussions for today. Up next is the news bulletin, that is for Lubarati, as you can see on your screens, and I must say that is something that is very, very good for the Lubara speaking community also to be part of. You must not miss maybe the Lubara news for those who understand the language. And then at midday, the Lembangia will also really be coming through. And not forgetting the Nalcast at 7 p.m. for the English speakers. And really that summarizes our discussions for today in a special way. I appreciate you watched us right from the time we began until this hour of the morning where we're coming to a close. From me to you, have yourselves a good day, and we shall be able to bounce back tomorrow for the Friday and final edition of the week. Thank you.